No, you're talking.
What? This has
Can
gone
you hear me?
better. Yeah. Hi. It's me. I'm here and you're there.
It's you.
I'm
Yes,
here.
for sure. And you're in a really good sweater.
Thank you. It has a like scarab on it and maybe
That's
fish.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Should have
And
worn that for a Prince of Egypt one.
more fish too.
Fish. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I should
another
have worn
one
this
down
for Prince of
there.
Egypt.
Yeah.
But oh well. Now I'll just be totally, if we talk about Barbie, I'll be totally off theme.
And that kind of
We
works.
should have, yeah,
We should have
we
dressed
should have
up for this
dressed up.
actually.
Should
Yeah,
we
okay.
dress
Give me
up?
1 second. I'll throw something on.
Yeah.
Maybe we
Okay,
should
me
dress
too.
up.
I think we should dress up.
Okay, be right back.
Okay, me too.
I forgot you had a mic for a second.
Well, now I don't really know, like, is this too close?
Like us matching?
I can't
Or
hear you.
your mic.
Yeah, this, like,
I don't know.
if
How
I
loud
put
am
it here,
I?
is that like too close?
I have no idea.
It gives it a little, like, shape. That's kind of fun.
That's kind of, yeah, I like it a
I
lot.
can't hear you at all still.
I don't know about you, but I didn't. You can't hear me? Oh, hello?
No, like, nothing. I could hear you before. Ah,
If I knew ASL,
what?
if I knew sign language, I
Yeah, if
don't.
I only know, like, yeah, a few things.
I think that's a swear.
A little rude, but I got it. I'm there with you. The fruit flies. I'll try it. We'll have two of you and two of me. And one of us has got to be able to make the connection all the way across. Don't you think?
Recording in progress.
Okay, great.
Do you want me to start talking? Hey!
Yes! Okay,
Hot
great.
damn, we're in business. I'm trying to, which camera should I use? This one's better, right?
Uh, yeah, the phone one is like a nicer quality, but it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, I don't think it makes that much of a difference.
I'm vain, so I think we'll go with.
Okay, let me
I
change
I
my,
did try uh charging my iPad to see
okay,
if it
that's working.
I
Your
couldn't get it
iPad
though.
would, that's too bad.
Yeah. What can you do?
Not much, apparently.
Apparently. Yeah.
Um, I'm really liking this, like, us at every angle. It's kind
It
of
is a
fun.
little disorienting.
Whoa, you just totally white screened there. See, like, what if it's like me from the front, but then also me from the side?
I feel like I'm trying to tame a horse. Like,
We're like,
whoa, whoa,
easy,
whoa.
buddy, easy. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to recap for anybody who missed this kerfuffle, I was wearing a yellow sweater. Then we were like, "Hey, we're talking about Barbie. Let's wear pink sweaters." So I wore a pink sweater, but then I was like, "This is way too hot because of circumstances." So I changed into this one. And other than that, nothing has happened.
No, it's
Everything's
been
fine.
completely uneventful.
Mhm.
Hmm. We both look really pink
Um,
and cute though.
Yeah. I wasn't sure, like, because I'm wearing it brown, and so I was like, I don't want to change my whole thing. So then I was gonna wear that tall sweater, but then it just was too warm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it looks nice.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Uh, well,
If I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel um I mean so cross. I don't really want to talk about anything at all.
yeah. Yeah. So welcome to Women in STEM. As always, we're here and happy, and nothing
Living
has
it up
gone
on
wrong.
top.
Yeah. Everything's cool and good. I was trying to think of we're talking about Barbie today. The 2023 Greta Gerwig directed Barbie movie. And I
Mhm.
was trying to think of what STEM could stand for, and I like thought of some letters, and then I was like, those aren't very good, and then I forgot them.
Oh,
So
good.
yeah,
Well, now we won't even have
that's
to
where I
bother with
am.
them.
Yeah, like who cares?
I'm I'm at my apartment.
And I like, should I be?
Nothing, I mean nothing at all.
And I'm at my parents' house.
Yay!
So I don't know what that has to do with anything.
You said that's where I'm at right now, and I said I'm at my apartment.
Oh, I
And
see.
then you didn't say anything for what felt like 10 minutes.
Eternity. I just stared you down and said,
Oh
rethink that.
no, you're frozen.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm fine. I'm right
There.
here.
You're right there. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, did I
It's
show
got
you
it.
that my earrings?
Hearts.
My
That's so
friend Brooke gave
cute.
them to me a couple years ago when we were coworkers. And she's like, it was like a couple days before Valentine's Day, as it is today, right now, when we're recording. And she was like, just so you know, I don't expect you to get me anything for Valentine's Day. And I was like, I wasn't planning on it. We're coworkers. And she's like, but I got you something. And it was these. And she's the cutest
Aw.
person in the world. Shout out Brooke.
That's true. I think I've met Brooke once.
That might be true. Yeah.
Was it Pride and Prejudice night? But we didn't
No.
end up watching Pride and Prejudice.
What did
You
we
guys
do
were doing
instead?
we watched Encanto.
Was there a puzzle, a round
Yes, there was
puzzle?
a big puzzle. There was a big puzzle on the
Yes,
counter.
you were there, and that was at Brooke and Tate's house. Yes. Oh,
Yeah, we've done it. I remember this because it was the week that you watched Bahubali, but I hadn't seen it yet. And so the entire drive over there, you were telling me about the plot, and then we were 10 minutes late going in because we were still in the car, you describing the
yeah, and
movie
I'm
to
like, I'm
me.
so sorry. Just like one more thing.
Yeah, yeah. And then I
Yeah,
was like, I'm really excited to be here because I enjoy all your friends. And I think we were doing the puzzle, and I think we also had nail stuff that we were going to do, like nails. But I was
yeah, we
also like,
did, and
I
we had
want to
like
get out of here
snacks
as
and
fast as
stuff.
possible because I want to watch this movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We ended
Yeah.
up staying though until after midnight because we had to finish the puzzle.
You had to
And it
finish
was
the
like a
puzzle.
life or death situation. And Christian
Yeah.
was there, and he was like, I could not care less about this puzzle. Like he was bored out of his mind. We were like, puzzle, puzzle. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that.
Listen, if you don't get like feral over a puzzle, what do you even do in your life?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to ask him.
Yeah, I don't because
Yeah,
he married Brooke, didn't he? Or Tate?
he
He
did.
married
Yeah, he
Brooke.
married Brooke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm, I'm not sure about that.
Um. No, they're really great together. He's just not a puzzle guy, but that's okay. He has a lot of really redeeming qualities.
Okay, yeah, I
I
guess
like him a
nobody's
lot,
perfect.
actually.
You
Yeah.
can't.
Everyone
So
has to
my
have at least one flaw, and Christian's probably only flaw is that he's not super into puzzles. Like that's really the only thing I can think of. I love this guy.
my roommate has a good friend at work named Christian, and every time she talks about him, I'm like, Christian, work bestie Christian, because that's how you to talk about Christian.
Yeah, Christian, my best
Christian,
friend
we're
Christian from work. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know him. I've never met him, but he called her on the phone last night and she's like, "Oh, it's my coworker Christian." And I lost my mind. I was like, "You have to tell him I say hi. Hi,
Like
hi,
a
work bestie
coworker
Christian."
Christian.
Yeah. He's like, "Hi, I guess." But
That's funny.
it's great. Hmm.
Yeah. Well, Barbie, you've seen it.
I sure have. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yep.
I have as
I
well.
oh, good. Okay.
Mhm.
We're off on the right foot today. I
Yeah,
am wearing
yeah.
pink. You are wearing pink.
Uh-huh.
Um,
You have
this
kind of
hat,
like some purple and green like florals, which are really cute.
yeah, it's much
Yeah,
more, more purple than it is pink, but it gives off pink vibes, doesn't it?
it does. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's very Barbie. When
It has a
I
pink
went
aura.
to see the movie, I was wearing that. The only thing I had that was like Barbie enough was a pink sweater, and it was, of course, in the dead of summer.
Yes.
And I was like, well, I do what I have to do. So I was wearing these like
Hmm.
lime green pants, super cute. And then just like a simple black top so that I could wear the pink sweater over it.
I've never in my life put in as
And
much
it was
effort as I
so
did
hot.
to the outfit going to Barbie. I've never cared about anything that much.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Here, this is pretty Barbie too, I think. Hold on. Give me a second. I've got a
Okay.
thousand cords here
Oh, is that because
because of
we
the
had to change
calamities.
devices so many times? Because of all the issues that we don't have.
Okay, I
Oh
showed you
yeah.
already, but this is
Hi.
my strawberry pillow and it's named Stevie. I didn't give it that name. That was the name that came on the tag, but the second that I made eye contact with it, I was like, hell yeah, that's a Stevie the strawberry if ever I've seen one.
That's Stevie. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
Hi,
Stevie's going to be joining
Stevie.
us today. Probably going to put
Yes!
Steve. Uh,
We are one step closer to being Good Mythical Morning. We have a Stevie and everything.
every
This
single day
rocks.
we get closer and closer. Rhett and Link, we're coming for you.
Yeah. The thing is, like, if you can kind of cut your hair into like a very lesbian haircut, and then if only I could grow a beard, then we'd be
We'd be perfect.
set.
Neil, his because he has a beard now and a pretty good mustache, and every time we FaceTime, he strokes the like goatee area. He's like, "You're mad because you can't do this, huh?" Every single time. And yes, I'm so upset. I would kill to be able to stroke a mustache every time I'm deep in thought. Hmm.
Mhm. You should tell him that if he doesn't shave, he's anti-feminist.
He doesn't care.
He hates women.
He hates women. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
So
instead of telling him that, maybe tell like just spread awareness to everyone that he knows. And that way he
that
can
he
never
hates
like get a
women.
date. He like can't hang out with people anymore because they're like, oh, cringe, dude. I respect women, you know?
He can't do that anyway. Suck
Suck
it,
it,
Neil.
Neil! Bam,
Yeah.
bam, 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 bam! Blammo! Yeah.
Just kidding. My brother's a good person.
A lot of people are good people. That doesn't mean they can get a date. Red. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a class and so we do a webinar lecture every Wednesday and this Wednesday just happens to be Valentine's Day. And so we're not having lecture that night and she says if you go on a date then you like we're not having class anyway, but if you go on a date then you get extra credit also. Um it's 10 points of extra credit. That's a lot of extra credit and I
10?
want that extra credit. Yeah. Yeah, like an
Jeez.
insane amount of extra credit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man. I mean, the thing is like because it's Valentine's Day, that's a lot of pressure,
That's a lot of
you
pressure.
know? Like you
Exactly.
can just be like, oh, I'll just ask like a friend of mine, like, hey, I get extra credit if I go on a date. Like, you want to go out with me sometime? It has to be, do you want to go out with me on February
On
14th?
Valentine's Day. Yeah. Oh, I guess it doesn't have to be,
Jeez.
it's just within like that. So it's the Monday through Friday. So it's not
Okay.
on that Wednesday. So
So you
it
can
is a
take
little
that
bit
pressure off a
better.
little bit. And
Yeah.
you really could just contact somebody and be like, listen, man, I know we're just friends. Will you please go on a date with me so I can get extra credit?
I think that
If
could
you
work.
explain the situation, I think that would work.
Yeah. I might like count a retroactive hangout as a date and then just submit the picture from that. Because I did have a movie night with a couple of friends a couple weeks ago. And I
Uh-huh,
think I took a
uh-huh.
picture of me and another one. I might see.
Interesting.
I'll see what I can do. I'll dig through my camera roll to see what I can find.
Yeah, just find a picture of you and a guy and it looks recent enough. Like it
Yeah,
looks
like
like
his
you
hair's the
now.
same. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's really the key. If it's you with long hair, no way.
It's not
It
gonna
hasn't
work.
been you for 3 years. No, yeah, it's
No.
obvious.
Yeah, I also thought about I asked Allison if her and Michael were going on a date that night and asked if I could third wheel and just like I went on a date. It wasn't mine.
We went on a date. I crashed
Yeah,
the date.
I
Yeah.
did. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think they have plans though. So, yeah.
No, dang it.
Yeah. So there's another set of friends I'm
It would
never
probably
talking to
be really
again.
good plans too, because you know that Valentine's Day is like one of the only days that Allison cooks. You could have salmon or that other meal that she makes. I mean, you're really missing out.
Oh boy.
I know how much you love salmon and Trader Joe's pasta.
I do.
Yeah.
Here's one problem that I'm facing at the moment is I've got 3 different cords that are, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cords I'm tied up in right now. And I don't have a drink right by me.
Oh no.
And my phone is just so precariously balanced on a stack of
Mhm.
objects to get the good angle that I
Yeah.
can't move it, and I don't even want to move at all, lest I
Right. Something would be messed up. Yeah.
yeah. So I like genuinely, this might be the worst day of my life.
I also have a problem, which is that we've been here for 45 minutes and haven't talked about our topic at all today, and I kind of have to pee now.
Oh, you better go pee.
Yeah, but maybe that'll buy you time to go get a little drink and,
I mean, the problem
if
is really less the time and more of the structure that I've constructed around myself.
you've built 4 walls out of brick, you've
Yes.
Castle Amontillado yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like we've tried to start like 5 times, so we should probably just jump in.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what else there is to say. Could start with like probably just more of like the technical stuff. The set and costumes are incredible.
Immaculate.
They're
No notes.
so good.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's the perfect amount of camp and silly. It caused a shortage in paint across the nation.
Mhm.
That's always good. I love it when movies cause shortages of things.
Mhm.
Um,
And you don't realize, I love when it's a shortage or something that you didn't realize how crucial it was. And then suddenly they're like, oh, it's a shortage, and there's like panic.
like how this one, a shortage in pink, and then Ravenous, there was a shortage in fake blood.
Mhm.
I love that. That's good.
It's really good.
I don't think the fake blood thing was as like urgent as not having, a color. But
Yeah, maybe not. But it's like they walked so Barbie could run in a way.
and you know what? I think Robert Carlyle would stand by that statement. He's like, actually, yeah,
I
Antonia
think he'll
Bird,
have
she
to.
laid the foundations for Barbie movie.
For Barbie 2023.
Yes. Yeah, you're right for saying that.
Thanks.
Similarly, Ryan Gosling, that's the
He's
funniest.
wonderful.
He's the only man in the world to me.
I've always really liked his like acting because he seems a little bit like he's an actor for the bit. Like in
Mhm.
any movie you watch of his, there's like a little like this underlying sarcasm that he really drives his characters with that you're like, I don't get it. Like he's so good. That's how
Yeah.
he like La La Land is like, I don't know. It's similar to Barbie in that the production of it is so beautiful, whether or not you care about the
Beautiful.
story, That's how,
Mhm.
but I feel about that maybe a little more. Well, I'll have to watch both of them again and then I'll tell you if that's true. But anyway, like that's how he is though in La La Land. He's like
Mhm.
so sarcastic and you're like, like are you acting? And like if he's like that, I don't know. But
Yeah.
that's what really makes that movie for me. Because it's like we don't need a white guy from LA to save jazz. People still like jazz. Like that's not an issue. Like the main crux of his battle in that
Oh, we're
movie
talking La La Land.
is yeah, is totally pointless and doesn't matter. But his
Sure.
character and his portrayal of that character, awesome. Like
He
that's why
doesn't
you'd watch the
miss
movie. Yeah, yeah.
his character in A Crazy Stupid Love. Like that's one of the
Oh,
funniest movies I've ever seen in
what
my
a
life
movie.
for him.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
work of
Everyone else
art.
in that movie is also a comedy actor, but there's just
Yeah.
something about him where he's like so serious but ironic. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah,
He does it, and
love
that's
that guy.
exactly how he plays Ken. Is this is the role of my life. Like this is the only one that he went into feeling completely 100% sincere about. He's like, oh my gosh, finally, this is the one. This is the moment. I've never seen anyone take a role so seriously. He leaned into it 1000%. Have you seen like any interviews where he talks about the Ken, like necessary items Ken needs throughout the day? And
Yeah,
like all of them are just things that Barbie might need.
it's
So Ken is the backup.
he's hysterical, and
He's
this is what I'm talking about.
so
It's like, are you
funny.
like this? Like, I can't tell if he's doing all these interviews from like a really deep seated irony, which is hilarious, or if he's sincere, which is also funny. Like, I don't get it.
And there's
He's a mystery to me.
either one
I
is
I
so
adore
funny.
him. His
Yeah.
performance like is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And people have been like the big topic right now is like whether Margot Robbie was like snubbed for not getting nominated in her role in that movie, and he was, but like maybe this is a controversial opinion. He deserved the nomination. His performance makes that movie.
That's
Like
true.
it's a good, I think it would be like a good and fun movie, but I can't imagine it not
There's not a single soul on
like
this
why
earth.
even make it?
Listen, I'm gonna say this, and there's two other actors. Mm,
There are only two other actors. There are three actors in the world, and one of them's
in the
Ryan
world.
Gosling.
The only like I don't even know. I'm gonna say one actor. The only other
Okay.
actor that I think could have played a convincing Ken, and this might be controversial, but it's Christian
Mm-hmm.
Bale.
Mm.
He's the
Mm-hmm.
only one who would get it. Any other man would be like, oh, this isn't for real. I'm just gonna I don't need to try that hard here. But
It's
the
kind of a
reason that,
goofy role, but
yeah, the
Christian
reason
Bale
Ryan
would
Gosling's,
body.
he'd listen,
Yeah.
he'd change his DNA for the role. He might actually
Yeah.
become plastic.
Yeah, he
I
might.
think he'd castrate
I wouldn't
himself
put
so
it
that he
past
could
him.
be,
He's very, yeah.
listen, he would get it, the way that Ryan Gosling got it. And
Mm-hmm.
I think Margot Robbie did a phenomenal job. Like I mean, she really killed it. She did a really
She
good
was
job.
great, of course. She's
Yeah,
Margot Robbie.
absolutely. Yeah. But no one expected Ken to steal the show. And the only reason Ken stole the show is because Ryan Gosling,
Because he was Ryan Gosling. Yeah.
yeah, but not Ryan
And so I
Gosling
think he
in the
deserved that.
I'm so sexy and hot. Like, and everybody loved him, but in the way that he was just really weird about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Men should be weirder. I'm not going to say it again.
I'm tired of saying this. It's like I always say,
Yeah.
get
So you're saying
weirder.
men should be hotter? Yes, and I'm tired of pretending they're like normal.
Just like how we're late talking about this movie at all, we're definitely by the time this is posted going to be super late talking about the Oscars.
Yeah.
But like just to be clear, he deserved it, and it's also like it's the movie has been nominated for other things. So I don't think that Margot or Greta were robbed in any way.
Yeah.
And people could chill out a little bit, you know?
And like, okay, this was a
That's
really
my
good year for
2 cents.
movies.
Mm-hmm.
I like there were a lot of good ones. There's a lot of competition. And again, I think it was an amazing movie. I think it was really well done. I didn't expect it to be very real. I thought it was just going to be like camp and stupid and fun. And it was going to be my
Yeah.
new The Mummy, 1999.
Mm-hmm.
But it was
I'm
sincere, and it
familiar.
was, yeah, of course, aren't we all? But I don't know. I don't know if I would say it was the best movie of the year. I don't know if I would say it's my favorite of the year. It was really good and I loved
But
it.
it
I
was
enjoyed it.
good. Yeah.
It was good. But I don't think that the fact that it didn't get as many awards as people think it should have is like a huge like blow. Exactly like what you're saying.
Yeah,
I
it
don't think
doesn't
anyone was
matter.
robbed. It was a good movie. We can leave it at that.
Yeah, yeah. And it doesn't matter. And also, like, so many award shows are rigged anyway. It's like I can understand wanting the thing that you like and think deserves this award to get it, but you can also understand like there are so many variables in there. And it doesn't matter. It's made up,
Yeah, it just doesn't
you
matter.
know?
Nothing
The only
matters
time it
really.
matters is when uh like in the past couple years, Indigenous women have won Oscars, and that's like groundbreaking. Like they're the first Indigenous women to ever do that. That's cool. Like that's a good thing that matters. It shows how we're changing as a society. But like, oh, I wanted this movie to get 8
Yeah.
nominations and it only got 7. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Like,
We can worry about other things. It's all right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Worry about other
There's
things
bigger
like
fish.
how
It's okay.
wokeness is more profitable these
Yeah.
days.
Just like shut up.
Come on, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Get over it. Yeah.
I think it's
No.
funny too, like on the topic of wokeness in the Barbie movie. I think it's funny how
Oh my gosh.
like I really genuinely think most people are chill about it. Like, I watched the movie, I liked it. It was a fun time, the sets were interesting, like I was engaged. I
Mhm.
think most people are in that camp. But then some people are like, this was way too political, and some people are like, it wasn't enough, you know? And I can
Yeah.
see where they're coming from in a way, like if it's really pushing itself as this like very feminist movie and like changing the game. And I don't think that it did that. Like I don't think it did the thing and then subverted the thing or whatever. I don't think it did. But so that's like a valid critique, but it also like doesn't matter. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, and I don't think it was trying to push itself as like the feminist movie of the year. It's like, hey, this is a thing that some people
I think
experience
it
and this is how
became
they
that.
experience it. That's how
Yeah.
people wanted to push it as. And the movie itself was just like, oh, huh. Like, let me be clear, it's a good movie, but it didn't reshape the feminist experience. It's no Mad Max Fury Road. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I feel like it's so frustrating when people try to put words into something else's mouth. Like the movie itself literally just said, this is how the like human woman experience is sometimes. And
Mm-hmm.
like this is Barbie's experience with it, while also kind of taking into account Barbie's past as like a company, and she's supposed to represent all of these things that a woman could be, but sometimes that feels overwhelming. And also has she like damaged body standards and all these things. It just kind of pointed at it without having to get into it all the way. And I really
Right. Like
appreciate
that
that
would
because
just
it's
be a
like
different
we don't
movie.
exactly, we don't have to
Mm-hmm.
like, they acknowledge it. They're like, hey, this is, she's been kind of, it's hard to determine whether Barbie is good or bad. Uh, that there's this question that's happening all the way over here, and we're not going to do that.
And we're gonna have just like a separate plot that doesn't
Yeah.
answer the question. It's like when Harry met Sally, they're like, can a man and woman
Can
ever
men and
just
women
be
be
friends?
friends?
And they
Yeah.
are not gonna answer that question. That's just the
Mm-mm.
world that they live in.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. I think like people kind of rag on like the scene where America Ferrera is all like trying to help people remember their womanhood or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's the same thing where like, yeah, we're not gonna like solve feminist issues by just realizing who we are and what the structure of patriarchy is like. Of course not. But that's
Mm-hmm.
also like not necessarily what they're saying. That's just how it worked in the movie because it's a movie.
It's a movie. You know where they are when that scene happens? They're in Barbie land.
They're in Barbie land and everyone's a
So
Barbie.
it's gonna be maybe not exactly how it happens in real life
Yeah,
because of their Barbies.
yeah, and it's okay.
Suspend your disbelief. I'm gonna do it's just something I want real quick. Suspend your disbelief. Suspend
Okay,
it,
I'm too bad.
or else.
They could have gone a lot of different directions with the plot, and they all would have been fine because the main like focus of the story is like, what if there was Barbie Land and it was super campy and awesome and like old timey musical and all of that, And then also the conflict is just like, what if a Barbie turned human? And you could do anything with that, right? And they did one thing and it was cool and people liked it.
Yeah,
It
that's
doesn't
the thing.
matter.
As they didn't try to tackle all of these other different issues or questions because that would be overwhelming. It would be insane. Like,
You can't do that in one movie. People haven't been able to do that for hundreds of years. You're not going to do it in one movie
no, and the
that's like
movies where they
sponsored
tried
by
to
a
do,
toy company.
yes, the movies where they try to do it always end up being chaotic and confusing and a mess. And no one likes them because you know why? They
Because
tackle
it's
too
too
many issues at
much.
once. It's overwhelming
Mm-hmm.
and it's confusing and it's like shit. It does not turn
You
out
just need
well.
to focus. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I one criticism I saw was that the movie like wasn't very diverse with like the woman experience. And that
Well, there's only so much you can do. Like it's about one woman.
exactly. That was my like why that comment irked me. And it took me a while to be able to articulate it, but it's like it can why are you expecting so much of it? This is exactly what the movie itself
Right.
is trying to critique is you want the movie to be everything and to encapsulate every woman's possible experience. And it was never going to be that. It was never going to be that. Stop expecting it
It's
of it.
literally Barbie.
It's
Like
it's it did it the things that it did and accomplished and questioned and talked about, they did it really, really well because they were like, how does the patriarchy affect, men? And how does it affect women? And how do you feel without a purpose in your life?
mm-hmm.
Simple, really broad questions.
And that's
It did
enough
them.
because it's about America Ferrera and Margot Robbie. Like, so you can't diversify the experience and like talk about all women's experiences when your main characters are two specific women. Like, what are you going to do? I don't know. Like, you could watch any movie and be like, well, okay, but why aren't they talking about the chemical fallout in New Mexico? And it's like, that's a different
Exactly.
movie.
It's this is not for you. It's not for you.
Yeah,
It's
like
not talking about
this story is about these characters, and if you want a story about something else, watch something else or go make it yourself if you feel like this is something that needs to be talked about and nobody's talking about it. Like you can bring that up in a creative way instead of just bashing everything else that already exists that happens to not tackle this issue that is important to you.
Yeah. I've seen people, it's like it's just the mindset of I think being like terminally online,
Yeah, like why
everything
isn't
has to
everything
apply
for
to me
me?
and everything has to be exactly. It's
Mm-hmm.
I saw a question the other day and I'm going to try to think about how to phrase it. It was questioning why they didn't go into the implications of sexual assault in The Sound of Music. The one, are you familiar in The Sound of Music? Yeah.
The thing is, there's already conflict in that movie because they're living in Austria during World War II.
Yeah, because like
That's
how
already
the
enough
Nazis came to
conflict.
power, and it's like
In The
that's this
Sound of Music?
in The Sound of Music. Yeah, and I was like astounded. I was speechless because the second act of the movie, right, is them trying to escape from this Nazi regime that's just kind of slowly crept into their world. But the first half of the movie is her like falling in love with this DILF that she works for, which by the way is the dream. That's all I would ever hope to live in my life.
The easiest way for you to have 6 kids, Whitney, is to be a stepmom.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, and you would be good at that.
I'd be really good. Where's my Captain
really
Von Trapp? I'd be an amazing stepmom. I'd be so good.
You would be so good.
That's a really good idea. That's not one I'd considered. But I mean, the world is my oyster. Yeah. Mr. Nolan Von Trapp, wherever you are. I love that.
Even in the first part of the movie though, like the conflict is like her identity as a woman of faith and like how can she follow that when she also has this love for this man, right? There's already conflict in the first act.
Yeah.
That's personal. And then there's also a larger social conflict of Nazis. Like, how can you be like, oh, but this doesn't have this other third thing? Like, those are already two really important conversations.
And like genre of the first half is just like it's a romantic, it's kind of a comedy, it's just a romance, it's just a
Yeah.
romance. I don't think we need to bring up the screeching question in the like at the 2/3 mark of the first act being like, but have you
What
considered
about
the
violence?
worst thing ever? Julie, she was just singing a minute ago, do re mi.
Yeah.
Are you familiar? What, like, whoa, we slammed to a stop, just red lights, alarms blaring. How are you ever going to get back on track after that?
In the Sound
It's
of
about there's
Music,
in the Sound of Music. It's like
there's
you
children
cannot
in that.
there's
Like
you
that's a
cannot
different
possibly
movie.
exactly, you cannot possibly expect a movie to fit in every single thing all the time. Like just I like what do you even say? What do you
Grow up, like watch a different movie.
like learn critical thinking skills?
My word.
That's I'm begging you.
It's so annoying. Like you could really watch any like have any like social issue topic on your mind and then watch any movie and be like, oh, I can't believe it doesn't have this thing that I've been thinking about. And or you could have like an issue in mind, like something that's important to you that you want to learn more about or that you want to see represented or like a big question that's hard to tackle and find something that specifically talks about that
You could do
and then
that, sure.
critique how well it does it, right? If The Sound of Music was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be about sexual violence,
yeah. You know what?
then you
A
could be
question
like, oh,
that's
I wish they had done this differently, right? But it's completely not at all. It doesn't mention that at all because it's not supposed to. So, like, watch something else.
that's like going into the Lion
That's
King
wild.
and expecting them to talk about alcoholism. Are you like why are you mad that they didn't?
Yeah, like,
It's
talk.
it's
There's
I
plenty
mean,
of media out there for you. It's not this.
we can just I mean,
That is wild.
it made me sick to my stomach. I was so upset about it. And
The
then I had to go
Sound of
and then I was
Music.
pissed because I was like, I'm gonna watch the movie and this is all I'm gonna be able to think about. This and that one totally unhinged YouTube comment from several months ago that was like, actually, Julie Andrews is a whore and I hated her. And several of her comrades died in battle and doing better. Do you remember this one?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Like, huh?
Why do people have so much hate for this movie? It's a good movie.
Oh, like, and if you hate it, like, why not just not watch it and not engage with content about it on YouTube? Like, it's so easy to just like close any video that you don't want to watch and do something else.
Ooh, this would be a really good time to leave the meeting. If listen, this is
And then
an
we just
old
hang up. I
adage,
mean,
but it's a good one. If it sucks,
yeah.
it to bricks.
Mhm. I've
Take that and
always
apply
said
it.
that.
That's true. Yeah, apply it to everything you need to in your life.
Mhm.
I have a quick
It'll
question.
help. Yes.
Oh, it so does. Do you remember how we recorded talking about Age of Ultron for like 15 hours?
Uh-huh.
Did we ever, is that a, like, did we put it on the channel?
No, because it's only your 50-hour recording.
That's it? We
Yeah,
don't
not
have like
mine. I don't.
any visual or anything?
No, I don't think so.
Well, okay, that's I mean, either really good news or really bad news. Either that was a sign that we were never meant to talk about it anyway, or we'll have to redo it at some point in the future. And we don't have to talk about that right now. I just wanted
Well, that'll just be one of our little Easter eggs. Like dedicated listeners will know, and then we only every time we say that we only refer to things that people have no way of seeing because they don't exist anymore. So I think we can just keep that
yeah.
going.
Anyway, a Barbie movie was really good. I loved the music.
Yeah.
I'm Just Ken. Really fun addition to just have one single song where the characters are singing it. Everything else is just a
Yeah,
normal movie soundtrack, but that
good.
one moment
But then
is
like he gets to have a musical moment.
yeah.
That's just him with like the big
Yeah.
backdrop and everything. I mean, it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
old school.
Yeah. It's so
And
good. I watched it with
the
Emily and Lillian, and
oh,
Emily said like, I mean, I liked it. I thought it was fun, but you know, like she's referring to the Ken musical moment. She's like, I kind of wish that the rest of it had just been like that. Like once I knew they could do that, I was like, why is this whole thing not just like a campy old timey musical? And I was like,
she
that's a
makes a
fair
good
point,
point.
actually.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the scene where he's like they're pulling up on the beach and everyone's like getting shot violently with toys. And
Yeah.
he like rips off his fur coat and says with all the passion in his heart, "I'll see you on Malibu Beach." That's top 10, one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
It's awesome.
It's
It's so
so
good.
good. It's so good. Um, yeah, the whole movie could have been that.
Yeah. And it
I
would have
wouldn't have
been
I
fine.
wouldn't have
But
minded.
again, they went a different route with it, which was also fine.
Also equally fine because that
Mhm.
this way we had Barbie sitting on the bench looking at the old woman saying, "You're so beautiful." We had Billie
Mhm.
Eilish's "What Was I Made For?" Just
Mhm.
heartbreaking shots of Margot Robbie crying,
Mhm.
and like if they had
And
gone, I'm
that's a
just
good
Ken Campy
moment.
moment, Margot Robbie crying moment, like they're equally,
They're both very impactful in different
yeah,
ways.
yeah.
And what a joy that they both are in the same movie.
They both are. Yeah,
Ken is awesome. I mean, like again, there's a reason this character like got him nominated, you know. Like it's
yeah.
probably like a lifetime award, but still. Like it's hilarious to just be like as soon as I realized that it wasn't just all about like cowboys and horses, I lost interest. We've all been there. He's a horse girl and he had to grow up.
uh,
Ah,
that's good. That's
yeah.
really good. Yeah. I liked how they my maybe one critique of the movie is that they weren't like better buddies,
Mm-hmm.
Ken and Barbie, because it
Ken and
just seemed
Barbie.
like Ken
Because they're
bugged
supposed to
her.
be.
They're supposed to be
Yeah.
best friends. Like I don't
That's the
mean to
whole point of
bring
Ken.
Barbie Dreamhouse into this, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean they're
Oh,
best friends. They love each
yeah.
other.
Yeah.
And I liked maybe that it was, we don't, you don't, it doesn't have to be romantic. Barbie doesn't have to be like, maybe arrow representation. What, I liked it, but why didn't they like each other more? It doesn't have to be
Yeah, they could
romantic,
have
but
still
like
been friends.
they
Yeah.
could have like, because there's that one scene where the other Ken and Barbie was like, I just really miss my best friend Barbie, and she comes back and she's so happy to see him, and like you could tell they actually really like being around each other. I wish
Yeah.
Margot Robbie and Ken could have like enjoyed each
Yeah,
other's
that would have
company
been
more.
nice.
Yeah, it would have been good.
Yeah. I
But
mean, I
other than
guess
that,
it sets up the whole thing with like patriarchy and like the expectations of men not necessarily lining up with what
right.
women want. Like
That's
I
yeah.
can understand why they did it, but it is still a little like disappointing because
Mm-hmm.
that's the whole point of Ken's existence. Like, you know,
It's yeah.
is to be buddies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But like I said, we still have Barbie Dreamhouse, Life in the Dreamhouse. And that show is unexpectedly so good a lot of the
It's
time. So we have
awesome.
this really good
It's
Barbie representation.
hilarious.
It's so funny.
It's
Why
so
is
and
it so
honestly,
good?
it's because again, it's because of Ken. You know, when he makes the slip and slide for the water party in like the first episode, and it like they're like "Meh, meh, meh, meh," and he goes, "I think we need to increase the sliposity."
Slip off. Shut up, Ken.
That's
You're
why
my
it's so funny.
hero.
That's
Yeah.
why it's so funny. It's made up scientific terms. It's Ken doing the most all the time. I mean,
All
what
the
more do you
time.
need?
All the time. He
Yeah,
designed, you know what? He designed Barbie's walk-in closet
he
that
designed
has like
closet. That's
the AI
true.
software to help her pick and plan outfits and stuff.
Yeah, and
He
in one time he
designed it.
turns evil.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is the best show ever.
It's so good. We have never once in our lives talked about Barbie Life in a Dreamhouse before. I didn't even
I
know
think
you'd
it's
ever
because
seen an episode.
no, I think we were trying to shield each other from because now we're not going to talk about anything else.
No, it's just gonna be Barbie Life in the Dreamhouse. There's one episode
Yeah,
where Barbie has some friends over and it's raining, and she's like, "I love the rain. The rain is so good." And they're like, "Oh, I hate the rain." And then she's like, "Aw." And they're like, "Oh, well, maybe we could try. Let's try the rain." And they get all excited about going out in the rain, but by
yeah.
the time they get out in the rain, it stopped raining. And so Ken hooks up a hose and just starts spraying everybody down so they can enjoy the rain and be jumping
Like
and
he's
dancing in
their
puddles.
dad or something. Yeah,
I love him so much. He's
it's
such a
actually
good guy.
yeah, he is. In terms of like children's media, like genuinely, this show is so good.
Yeah, it's entertaining
The
for kids, but
characters,
it's
like,
also one of the funniest shows I've ever seen.
yeah, well, and like any of the, just in terms of like what you would, if you were like a child, what you would learn from this show, like even the people who like are really competitive with each other, or they like don't like each other,
Hmm.
they actually like still hang out and find ways to like cooperate, and it's like the ways
Mm.
that they don't like each other are funny and never like actually harmful. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like they're just Barbies. And also like that kind of thing. Like I think it's just there's a lot to relate to if you're a kid and there's like you want to go play out in the rain, but first you have to get ready. And then you get
Mm.
so distracted by getting ready and picking out all the best, like planning all the fun stuff you're going to do, and then you get out and it's like too late. And it could be really disappointing, but then a trusted adult will help you. Yay! Like,
Yay!
you know what I mean?
And sometimes you get hit by a shrink ray and you have to hide in a pair of high heels.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Yeah. And sometimes you hang out with Raquel, who is, I don't know, maybe one of the most well-written characters ever.
She's awesome. She's
I
so
like
funny.
Jane Austen. She'd see Raquel and be, no, hold on. She's really got something, you know?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like,
Everybody
I've
else
been
seeing this?
saying. Nobody understood Jane Austen like the creators of Barbie Life in the Dream House.
And that's that on that.
Period.
Listen,
End call.
this has been the culmination of the entire time. Not only the entire time we've been working on this podcast together, but also I'm going to say our entire friendship.
Of yeah, human history.
Man, this whole thing should have just been about Barbie Life in the Dream. We should do a future episode on just that.
Barbie Life in the Dream House. Yeah.
It's so, yeah. I mean,
I've
we
been
have two
thinking.
perfect representations of Barbie in the media. It is these two,
Mhm.
three. We have,
That's kind of four. Oh, I see.
it's just three. You
Just
see?
do one
This
hand.
hurts. But they're chunks. You see?
Okay.
I don't know why I do these things, but the third one is that one that Curtis Connor just did a video on that he like made him openly weep as he was
Oh
recording.
yeah.
The one with Lindsay
Yeah.
Lohan,
Yeah.
life sized, I think was called
With
that
Tyra
one
Banks.
with Tyra. Yeah, I didn't expect
Yeah.
that one to make me emotional either, and
Yeah,
it
and I
did.
only watched it through Curtis as like a
Him,
second or third hand, but you're still
yeah.
like, oh, yeah. Well, and there's just something
Oh,
about seeing somebody else cry that it becomes even more an emotional moment for you. So
yeah, that's true.
yeah, shout out to Curtis. Everyone go check
Yeah,
him out. Kind of a small channel, but we're really trying
yeah,
to boost his numbers here. Great guy,
yeah. Good buddy of ours.
presumably. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, he is Canadian,
We
but he
go
is
way
still a
back.
really good guy.
Yeah.
Here we could also do Avatar: The Last Airbender at some point in the future because we have planned to talk
That's
about that one and just do a whole section on like children's media.
yeah. It's
That's, I
so
mean,
good.
way better than it has any right to be.
It's so good. And they're making a live action one, and I have mixed feelings about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel the same about it as I feel about the plans to make a live action Prince of Egypt.
Right. Where you like it's not necessary, but if they're gonna do it, you hope that they do it really, really well. But then there's a fear that they won't because of the history of live action adaptations.
Never, ever, ever being as good as the original. Not even coming close.
No. Only and it always gets me that they don't do it like for example, The Lion King, which started it all, fantastic animated movie, really beloved by a lot of children and adults who watched it as children and adults who watched it as adults. Great movie. And then they made it into a stage musical and it was cool. And
Yep.
so then why, if you're gonna do it live action, why would you just be like, oh yeah, these are CGI lions? Instead of making it actually live action with live people in costume. Make it campy, make it a stage performance. Like that's so cool.
I'm going to say this. They're cowards.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go into it anymore because if I do, I'll never stop.
Yeah. Be another 52-hour recording of Infinity War. That's lost history.
The more I'm thinking about it, the more I think it was probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, yeah, it's just sad because the thing with animation and the thing that Avatar did so well and the Prince of Egypt did so well is that they leaned into the medium. They said these are things we're never going to be able to do with live action, and that wasn't even really a thing by the like in the time of the Prince of Egypt. But
Yeah, I
with
don't think
Avatar,
they were thinking
especially,
about it. They were just
no,
making an animated movie. Yeah.
yes, but they did things that could never ever be done as beautifully in live action or CGI, like the parting of the Red Sea scene, and specifically, like we said, it
Mhm.
took 2 full years, 10 animators, 2 full years to animate that scene. Um, you can never ever do that as well with CG. And the same thing with Avatar. How are they going to animate the wind? How are they going
Yeah.
to picture his like air balls that he sits on, air scooters? That's the thing. Like they knew they chose to do an animated show because they knew they had more freedom with the medium. So if you're going to do a live action show, do things that you can only do live action that can't be done in any other
Right.
medium as well. And I don't have any examples of that off the top of my head because
Because it's hard to think of anything that can be done physically that can't be represented in art.
better. Yeah.
Interesting. I will say I have
Sometimes you have to lie to tell the
an
truth.
example.
Sometimes you have to animate to make it real.
Hmm. Absolutely. I have
Yeah.
one example, which is the stage musical of Cinderella, where when the fairy godmother transforms her dress into like the big beautiful ball gown, and you
Yeah.
have to do that on stage, and you think, how can you have all this magic or whatever? And it's literally like all the props and set pieces on the stage during that scene are like double-sided, so the back becomes part of her gown, and she's moving and dancing around the stage and all the like lights and whatever, and as she'll like grab a tree and like wrap herself around it, and the trunk becomes the skirt. Like,
Shut
figure
up.
out how to do it cool or don't do it. Like,
That sounds amazing.
it's awesome. Like, and then but they make the movie and they just like, oh, we can just CG it and we'll have like sparkles come out, and then she'll just run back and like change costume and then come back. But it could be cool to have an on stage costume change piece by piece, like it's made of magic, like all these other elements of the world are coming together to create something new. Like,
Yeah.
be cool about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. And that's another thing is stage adaptations are undervalued because
Mm-hmm.
have you seen Shrek the musical?
Because they have to figure out how to do everything
They have to
animated
figure it out.
in person.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's harder. So they have to be more creative about it.
Yeah.
And it ends up being something totally unique. Like I'm thinking in Beetlejuice the musical, they have like a sandworm that comes up on stage and eats one of the characters at the end, and it looks amazing. They have a whole thing. Or the dragon in Shrek the musical,
Mm-hmm.
this huge contraption that's real. It's there. Or even I just saw Peter Pan on a couple weeks ago, and actually I was going to talk to you about this. I'll do this point next. But
Okay.
they had a screen projected on the back that had Peter's shadow
Mm-hmm.
as its own separate character, because I thought maybe they were going to have like another person come out in like a black mesh bodysuit, but then they
Right.
had
Like you would do in like a high school production.
right, but
Yeah.
like the projection worked so well because you almost didn't, it looked like an actual shadow that was being projected by one of the lights, and he matched it so well, but then towards the end it kind of started being out of sync, and you're like, wait, hold on a second, and then it kind of, and then it's a whole
Right.
other
I
person,
like that
baby.
like a gradual thing where like at first it seems like it's a shadow. So
Yeah,
it's
and then
like
you're
the
like,
slow
wait, but that didn't
reveal. That's really
match.
cool.
It
Yeah.
worked really well. The
That's
other
cool.
thing that because it was the opening night of this version of this adaptation of Peter Pan, and I read like an article that the writers of the musical wanted to avoid. They wanted to keep the heart of Peter Pan, but there's also some things that, I mean, historically we're a little bit like, the Native American representation and the fact that
Is
women
bad.
can only
Yeah.
be mothers, this stuff. And they
Yeah.
were like, you can't just take these things out. You can't just surgically remove them. It's like cutting a tumor out, you can't just like cut out the whole hunk of flesh and pretend the whole thing was never there, because there's context and like a lot of things that go into it that are not necessarily harmful in and of themselves, even if that thing is. You know what I'm saying? And so they worked really, really hard to be able to reformat these things in a respectful way. And I was so impressed because I've seen a lot of things that try to like all of Disney's live action remakes, how they try to like retroactively fix all of the, you know,
any
problematic
character.
thing. Exactly. Yeah.
Instead of thinking about, well, why is that a problem and how can that
Yeah.
translate to a modern audience or
Yeah.
whatever.
Like with Beauty and the Beast, how it wasn't just Gaston who didn't like that Belle read, it was the whole town was against her because that was how it was historically, even though it wasn't. And that's a fact. Like women in that time in France read. That was the thing that like that you invented an issue that has never existed instead of just responding to the one that you already raised up, which is why is this chauvinist asshole worshipped by the town? Like,
right,
it's a whole different
like,
issue.
He's the villain. Let him have bad traits. Let him be a misogynist and a weirdo.
Exactly. Why are you anyway? So the Peter Pan musical, I've seen people do it in really bad ways, and I went into it kind of skeptical, expecting them to do it carelessly. And they didn't. The indigenous people were instead people that their cultures had been almost erased, and they came to the island as a way of preserving their culture. They worked with Peter and his Lost Boys while still kind of butting heads sometimes. And Tiger Lily was like the leader of these tribes. And I'm not going to do it justice by describing it here, but I went into it expecting to be disappointed. And so the fact that it was good enough that it impressed me to the point where I have like very little negative to say about it, I think it shows that they did a really, really good job.
Because to reach, like, if you think it's going to be this bad and then they get it up to like the point that you would expect any other thing to be, and then they get it up enough that you actually like it.
That's impressive.
It's a huge amount for it to travel, yeah.
Yes, or like with Wendy. First of all, the whole cast was like they had kind of moved up the timeline a little bit, so it was modern. Wendy wanted to be a surgeon. And that's because her dad works at the hospital and he's really busy all the time, and you know they've got to go to this hospital function tonight, and that's why they're leaving, and you know that's the start of the story. But it worked so well. It never felt like she was girl bossified or anything. It makes sense that she'd want to be a doctor because her dad is a doctor and she has other interests, but these are just things that she's passionate about and is really good at.
Right.
And she's
almost
still
like a normal person.
Almost like a normal person, and how she's still like annoyed with her brothers. And you know how the thing with them taking Wendy to the Lost Boys is that they want a mother and they need a mother and they need a girl to be the mother. And the way that they had talked about it in the article that I read beforehand made me expect they were going to make huge changes to it. And they didn't. They had her say one thing and she's like, will I be in charge? And they're like, well, yeah, you're the mother. And she's like, I like being in charge. I'm here for that. And it like totally made sense with her personality and her character of wanting to be a surgeon and wanting like control of these things
and big responsibilities. And yeah.
Well, also it's like, she can be a mother if she wants. It's not that that's her only role, being a woman in the story, being a girl in the story, but it's also that she wants to take care of these people because she cares about them, because she wants to be a surgeon. She wants to help people. And she sees that like these characters ABC are suffering for these reasons. She wants to take care of her little brothers, all of these things. Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent, but I forgot that I even wanted to talk to you about that. It's been a couple weeks now, and I finally had to get it off my chest. I'm like, I loved it. I thought that it was the perfect way to update a story while still being respectful to the roots and keeping the heart of what made it good in the first place. So, I mean, if the Minneapolis cast of Peter Pan the musical are watching this, you guys did really well.
That's just a struggle that people have with a lot of like adaptations, right? Or just like stories in general, like telling an old story, people are afraid like that portrayal is promotion, you know? Like if we show that Gaston is sexist and anti-intellectual, then we're supporting the narrative of sexism and anti-intellectualism, when it's like not the case. And that's the main thing that worries me about the new Avatar. Like I read
Mm.
this thing about how they're like, oh, Sokka was like really sexist and that's not cool. And it's like, well, yeah, but how is he gonna change and become a better person if he doesn't have something wrong with him to begin with?
That was the point.
That's the point of his character, right? Is that he needs to get over this idea, like toxic masculinity that he's been growing up with and learn how to treat people better.
Because that's, I mean,
What's his
that's the
arc?
culture
Like,
that he grew
what
up
is his
in.
arc gonna be
If he's
if
not
not
gonna have,
that?
yeah, that's,
Like,
I
if he
mean,
always grows in a culture that's totally accepting and totally like equal, what's his change? Like, why are we watching this?
that's gonna be so
So I'm
boring.
really worried about that, and I'm probably not gonna watch it. But if I do, I'll probably be mad.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's just because that's the whole
So I
point,
don't
the
know.
problem of being in the North Water tribe too, right? Is that uh Haku won't train Katara because she's a woman. And this is,
Right.
I mean, the culture in the Southern Water Tribe has been completely broken down by the war, but that's also the culture that was like cemented there. So there's that culture has kind of broken away to the point where it's not nearly as severe as in their sister tribe. But also you see the
Hmm.
remnants in Sokka who, it's only the men that go off to war. All the women do these things A, B, and C. And that's like so restrictive. And that's like you're saying, that's the whole point of his arc is to meet women who can do all of these amazing things better
Yeah.
than he can, and to
And
see
overcome the environment that he grew up in.
exactly, and not be
Hmm.
an like a dick about it, but to humble himself and say, I was wrong. You're amazing. Teach me how to do these things. That's
Hmm.
why he's such a good character, is because he is willing to change.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that he just has the capacity, but that he actively makes a
But that
choice
he
to
does
look at
it.
himself and say,
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with like Zuko, he's supposed to be the villain and then change and become a hero, right? So I
Yeah.
don't like, how can you portray a villain and have them not do anything villainous and it's still a believable and interesting story? I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Mm. I mean, the good news is that no matter what, we'll always still have
Ryan
the
Gosling.
show to fall back. Him too.
True. Yeah.
They can, number one, they can never take the animated show away from us, and number two, Ryan Gosling will always be there for us.
Yes. Shout
Yeah.
out to Ryan. We go way back as well. Good friend of ours, friend of the show.
Yeah, friend of the show. Say hi to the wife and kids for us, Ryan, if you're
Yeah,
watching,
yeah,
which we
yeah.
know you are. Biggest fan. Him and Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He, Lady Gaga, and Curtis Connor usually all get together around like weekends to watch our stuff, I think. It's actually a really cute tradition of them.
Yeah. The famously close trio.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to drop some fan art of Gagita,
Not of us.
Ryan Gosling, and Curtis Connor.
Please do. We'll pin our
Woo!
email in the comments. So you know where to find it. Just
Yeah.
send away.
Oh, real quick too. I woke up this morning and I had a phrase in my head and I wanted to run it by you really quick.
Okay.
Homophobic homosexuality.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
That's all I had to say
have
about it.
you
I didn't have any other thoughts, but
that's
yeah.
okay. Have you watched any of 6 Feet Under yet?
No, I need to. I'm so sorry. I let you down. No. I'm
No.
so no, I'm so sorry. I know.
Why?
I'm not strong enough.
How could you do this to me? Anyway, if you had seen it, then that it would have connected in some way, but you haven't, so it doesn't matter. It's fine.
Okay.
You'll
Are
get
we
it.
still friends?
Maybe.
But life is amazing because we have Ryan Reynolds and Avatar and The Sound of Music, and I might watch all of them today. We'll see.
Okay. Why not?
Why not? I have
I've been
homework.
watching MASH.
How is that?
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Same as it ever was.
I like watching girl bossified edits of MASH.
That's the best. That's the best thing about MASH is like the crazed fandom that it has.
Yeah.
But the second best thing about MASH is the show. So that's not too bad. Like there could be several more things in between,
Yeah.
but there's not.
Yeah.
No, it's so good. You know when you talk about like a sopping, wet, sad, pathetic mess of a man.
Yeah.
There is a famous scene in MASH where the main character gets the worst news of his entire life, and he is already, when he gets the news, taking a shower with his clothes on. So I'm not
Clothes
saying that
on.
it's the blueprint, but like it was made in like 1974, so
I mean, you talk about a
it
slutty
is.
man. The more clothes
He's
a man
wearing
has
his
on, the
clothes.
sluttier he gets. That's a
And they're in the
fact.
military, right? So he's wearing like his military fatigues, dog tags, soaking wet.
Yeah.
And it's like heartbreaking news. It's the worst thing he's ever heard in his life.
That's good.
And he just
That's
has to
really
like
good.
repeat it, and he's still wet. Yeah, you'd love it.
I'm into that. I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, there's nothing, and you know this about me already, but there's nothing in this life that I love more than a pathetic man.
Mm-hmm.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's never going to stop. That's just
Mm-hmm.
something deep in my bones that I love.
And you know what? Speak your truth. It's okay.
Yeah. Live your truth. Yes.
Yes. Wow.
Another
the power
one.
of women.
Women's stories matter. They just matter. Another one that and I feel like I've considered getting into it, but the alignment hasn't been right, is Columbo. I feel like I will love Columbo when I watch it eventually.
Yeah.
The time isn't
But
right,
you have to get in the right headspace.
it's
You
there
have to
for
stop
me.
watching. It's like you can't watch it at the same time as Supernatural. You have to get
Hell no.
out of that phase into like MASH phase, and then from there it's an easy jump to Columbo.
Easy jump to the 70s. I love 70s TV. I watched Quantum Leap religiously when I was a kid. For some reason, who let me do that? But I did.
Thing is, like, sometimes I'm about to say something like that, and I'm like, it is so telling. It's like, you could say, don't read into this at all, but I used to watch Quantum Leap all the time as a kid. And like, as if that doesn't explain so much about you, right? For me, it's Faulty Towers.
I don't even know what that is.
No, you wouldn't. You didn't grow up in Britain in the 70s.
Yeah.
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 No, I get you. There's always some sort of like
And
old TV show that you were kind of too young to be watching, but it completely formed your personality in like some really important ways. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, genuinely, that's the problem with Supernatural for me, is because I watch it at a formative age. It has shaped me into the person that I am. I don't want to say that, but it's the truth. It has.
It's a hard thing
I should never have watched it, but
and
would I
that's
go
why
back and change anything? No, I wouldn't. If I were to go back and do it all over again, I'd still watch Supernatural from day one. And that part, I hate that part of myself, but also like, what can I do about it? You know?
Right. And that's why it's so easy for me to avoid, right? Because I didn't watch it. Like, I had a friend who did, and she would like talk about it sometimes. Like, I was aware, but I think I saw like one episode and was like, it just wasn't for me, you know?
Yeah.
And so now I'm immune to it.
You're immune.
In ways that everybody else our age who watched it is not.
Yeah. There's nothing you can. I could never, and I wouldn't. I'd never recommend it to anybody.
No.
But even if I were to say to someone my age who had never seen the show, you should watch the show, which again, I never would.
No, you shouldn't, by the way. Anybody watching this, if you haven't seen it, don't see it.
Bad show.
It's
avoid it.
Better for your life if you just don't see it.
If you know nothing about it, don't look into it. Good. Don't say, oh, that sounds interesting.
No, it doesn't.
Nope. I didn't tell you this story, I don't think. Last week, my friend Kennedy and and Grace and Al was over. No, I think I might have. Maybe. I don't know. I'll tell the story anyway because I don't think I've told it on this channel.
Okay.
Grace, Kennedy, and Allie were all over at my house. And Al mentioned, I think, something about the like the I love you news meme.
Mm-hmm.
And Grace and I lost our minds because I watched Supernatural for an embarrassing long time. She watched Supernatural for an embarrassing long time. Al has never seen it, but knows it through osmosis, knows everything
Mm-hmm.
about it. All of us know apparently everything about the show. And Kennedy pipes up, "Oh, I've never heard of that. Is it good?" And all three of us like fall silent and turn to look at her. Like
Did you say
fear.
no?
Fear fills the
Is it
room.
good? And you all shut down and say no.
We're all like gushing about this experience.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, what we had to do instead is because we were trying to explain to her the context of the meme. But the thing is, you can't
Oh,
explain
that's
the
hard
context
though,
of the
because that's at
meme.
the end of the show.
It's the end of the show. It's the episode before the season finale,
So
series
you'd have to be
finale.
like, well, so okay. Imagine that for like 19 years something was happening. And then at the end, there's this scene and it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
No. So what we had to do, and we did, we for 2.5 hours, we explained. I got out my whiteboard so I could draw out diagrams, and we explained the plot from the beginning of the show, and not only the plot of the show, but also the context surrounding the show, controversies, the actors'
Right.
relationships, who
Yeah.
Misha Collins
Which is the best part of Supernatural. Again, like, you know how the best thing about MASH is the MASH edits and then the show. The best thing
Yeah.
about Supernatural is the Jared Padalecki tweet.
A2.
Yeah, A2
That's
Brute, etc.
the
That is
funniest thing.
the best thing that ever could have
That
happened. And then
is
after that, it's Misha Collins accidentally
peak.
coming out and then having to go back in. And then after that,
Misha,
all the
that's
other
the thing
memes.
is you have to know 15 years these two have been best friends. This one planned something without this one apparently knowing. This one publicly like condemns and damns this one for doing that. And then Misha Collins separately is bi, but then the Warner Brothers tells him to maybe just let it go, to stay out as bi, even though he's not. Did you know that aspect of it?
Yeah. They're like,
That's
this is
insane.
this is bad optics. Maybe just slide it under the rug. And he's like, I have to, like, I've deceived people. I'm not gay.
This, and
imagine publicly, like very publicly coming out and then having to go back in because you lied on accident. On accident? Like not even for the engagement. It's not because he loves to lie or like he wanted the clout or whatever. He like genuinely is stupid. He just said something on accident. He didn't think about it.
And the thing is, that wouldn't even, if that happened to like Timothy Chalamet, it would be a blip on the radar. That would mean nothing to me or anybody else. The fact that it is Misha Collins, who played for 10 years, a decade of his life, a closeted gay angel in love with his best friend on the worst show that has ever aired on television. That's what makes it funny, damn it. And we had to tell all of this to Kennedy, who looked like she was about to burst into tears, and rightly so.
Yeah, I mean,
2 hours. And I can't tell you how it feels, because this was before I'd started rewatching the show, right? But to like sit there and quote at my friends, who I love and respect, quotes directly without any mistakes from Supernatural that I had not even realized were still a part of me.
Oh, wow.
That it's a painful experience. And
that's rough.
It was made only marginally better by the fact that Al and Grace could both confirm separately that what I was saying was accurate. That helped diffuse it a little bit, knowing that it wasn't just me.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be dire. Yeah, that would be bad.
It would have been bad. Would have been really, really bad. I didn't even want to talk about it in the first place. But we were there, and then, you know me, I love to talk, and I love to explain bad shows. What was I supposed to do? Just walk away? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, Kennedy, I think regretted.
God bless her soul.
God bless her. I don't think, I know for a fact she regretted even butting into the conversation at all.
Right.
And
Even
then
asking. Yeah.
yeah, she should never have asked. Maybe even regrets knowing me at all. But
Maybe.
I mean, it happened, and
Too
we
late
all
now,
have to
though.
move on and grow from it. What is there but, learning and changing from mistakes?
Yeah. And, in a way, it's beautiful, but in a different way, it's not.
It's heartbreaking and disgusting.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I had you know that tweet where someone's like, someone told me today that I look like I listen to Fall Out Boy, and it shattered me.
Yeah. I was literally just like, I think I just saw that again yesterday.
Funniest tweet in the world
One of the tweets ever, dude.
of all time. It belongs in a museum for sure.
Yeah.
If anyone were to tell me like, oh, you seem like the kind of person who would watch Supernatural, I don't
I'd
like
jump off a
condone
bridge.
joking about suicide, but
Yeah.
I definitely would have to kill myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say about it.
Yeah. That's rough. That's really bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even going to talk about it today. I went into this actively saying, don't talk about it. I'm sorry.
That was your downfall. It was still on your mind.
Oh no. Oh,
that's how they get you.
I should have just let the sieve in my brain take care of it, like how it handles all the important things in my life. This I think was fun. I think it turned out.
I think we had a really good time.
I enjoyed
I've
it
been
for sure.
trying to still think of what the letters stand for. Because now at the end, we've talked about a lot of topics, and the S is not supernatural.
No.
No.
I'm glad we're in agreement there. The first letter that people can see.
No, even if I bleeped out every vowel, it wouldn't be enough. People could still tell. So it's not bad, but I've been trying to think, since over the course of the conversation we've had all these topics, it might be easier to come up with an acronym, because it doesn't have to just be about 2023 Barbie directed by Greta Gerwig, but it can be several things.
The M could be MASH. We didn't really talk about it that much, but MASH
it's just
in
a little,
parentheses and other shows.
It's like, if you watch the whole episode, then you'll know why it says MASH at the beginning. And it's also funny because MASH is itself an acronym.
Yeah.
So it'd be like STEMAS.
Like the initials in the apostles' names. They all stand for their initials for other things with initials in it, and then it's just an unending nest. We've talked about this before, haven't we? Or is this something I've made up in my head?
No idea. Don't remember.
I want to say
you'll
this
notice
is
that now that I took off my sweater, I look like Hawkeye from MASH.
You
and now
look
I
like
just need to get
MASH.
soaking wet. I need dog tags, and then I could be.
Of course, it's Hawkeye. I know nothing about that show, but I know about Hawkeye.
Oh, it's his show.
He's sad, wet man. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I have to send you.
I'm a little bit flustered.
Just a clip of that scene, or even just GIFs of it, and you'll get it. You know.
Good. Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah. None of the words I'm thinking of have even letters that are in common with STEM is the problem.
Such as?
Well, now I'm not going to say it because they do have letters in common, but I was just being dramatic.
Oh, but I just wanted to hear them because I don't have any words in my head.
Oh, okay. Patriarchy, dream house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then those were mostly it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's not great because we'd have to do a lot of the third to last letter is capitalized, and that's what the S is for, or whatever.
Stellar is a word that came to mind. It's a little bit on the groovy side. So
it is a little bit on the groovy side, and you know what? Mm-hmm. It's just campy enough. I think it fits in talking about Barbie 2023.
Cool.
Stellar.
Mm-hmm. Stellar.
And that could even be STE. But it's
Stellar
S star T star E star LLAR.
Barbie movie lowercase. Barbie in lowercase, movie in with a capital M.
Oh, I see.
Stellar Barbie movie.
And more. Click this video to find out.
Yeah, because there's a lot of more.
There's mostly more,
It's
actually.
mostly more. It's like
This is good mythical more.
a very small chunk in the middle is Barbie, and then the rest before is just chaos. The whatever happens after
Is also. Yep,
I like this.
it's really good.
Okay, well, I should go. Well, no, I'm not gonna do homework. I'm just gonna sit here and probably crochet for a while.
Okay.
Look at all of my little squares I've made. They're so small.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so good.
they're gonna be bigger.
Whoa,
Yeah, I
that's
know.
witchcraft.
I'm not even gonna tell you how I'm gonna do it, but rest
Okay,
assured.
we'll just stay tuned for that, I guess.
Leave the recording running.
Another 52-hour segment. Live feed of your apartment, but you're like not home or just off camera. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
I have also homework to do, but I might watch MASH instead. Or during,
you
but
should.
probably not. Probably just instead.
Yeah, instead.
Mhm.
Don't worry about homework. It's not that important. It's
I
the
still
weekend.
have a whole other day before it's due, so I'll probably just do
Yes.
it all tomorrow. That's what due day means.
And I have always said that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for being here and for not deleting me from your contacts list, even though my
Oh,
audio
yeah,
wouldn't work.
this time.
For this is for Olivia for when she's going to edit this and thinks it's just going to be like a minute of silence. I'm going to just tell you about the backstory that I've constructed for Stevie here. Stevie is an orphan, fell off the back of a fruit cart when they were very, very young, and just kind of bounced down the road a little bit. Big, beautiful strawberry, but then it just, you know how strawberries get squishy when they're a little bit old. Um, and so someone picked Stevie up and buckled them into the passenger seat and then shipped him off to, be a comfort and a representative for, thousands around the world. And so that's where Stevie is. It's a real, um, it's a story about just courage and triumph and learning how to rise from adversity. So I hope anyone listening today can just take strength and comfort in Stevie's story and know that you can do the same thing. So I really thought that would fill up the entire length of time that Olivia was going to be gone, but I guess not. And now we can just sit in silence.